Okay, so picture this. We're on Vulture's Peak Mountain, way back in ancient India. The Buddha is there, and he's about to have this conversation that just perfectly pulls back the curtain on a trap our minds fall into all the time. More importantly, though, it shows us how to get out of it. He's about to meet this visitor, a guy whose entire philosophy, his whole identity, is built on one single, really powerful, negative idea. So this visitor, he's a wanderer, and his name is Dighanaka, which actually means long nails. And he walks up to the Buddha, not with some deep question, but with a declaration. It's his worldview boiled down to one single, incredibly potent negative statement. And that's it, seriously. That is his entire philosophy. Just think about how absolute that is for a second. He doesn't say, some things aren't pleasing, or, man, I'm often disappointed. Nope, all. It's a total, complete rejection of finding any pleasure or value in anything at all. He's literally built his identity around this one all-encompassing negative view. Now here's where it gets so good. The Buddha's response is just brilliant. He doesn't argue. He doesn't try to prove, no, look, some things are pleasing. Instead, he takes Longnail's own logic and just flips it right back on him. He points out the paradox. If all is not pleasing, then what about the view itself? Is Longnails pleased with his own philosophy of displeasure? It's this incredible move that immediately shows the crack in what seemed like a solid brick wall of a worldview. So from this one little challenge, the Buddha blows the lesson wide open for everyone. He explains that, people generally fall into one of three camps when it comes to their basic opinion about the world. And guess what? Each one has a hidden trap. Okay, so the Buddha lays out the three basic worldviews. You've got your all-is-pleasing person. They're always reaching, always grasping for more. Then you've got the person in the middle. Some is good, some is bad. And they're just caught in this endless cycle of clinging and then pushing away. But then there's Longnail's view. All is not pleasing. The Buddha points out that this view is actually psychologically closer to non-clinging just because you're already predisposed to rejecting things. Now, he's not saying this view is right. He's just pointing out its state of mind. And you gotta love this part, because it is so perfectly 100% human. Longnails hears his view described as close to non-clinging, and he immediately thinks, aha, see, he agrees with me. My way is the best way. We do this all the time, don't we? We're so quick to hear what we want to hear, to filter everything through our own biases, and just assume our perspective is being validated. But that's not the Buddha's point at all. And this is where the Buddha reveals the real problem. It isn't about which of the three views you hold. The problem is the act of grasping onto any view and then declaring it the one and only absolute truth. He explains that a wise person gets this. The second you decide, my view is the only correct one, you are setting yourself up for conflict. And why? Well, it's simple, because you are absolutely guaranteed to meet someone who holds one of the other two views. And when you do, a clash is inevitable. I mean, you see this playing out every single day, right? Especially online. And here's the predictable domino effect. It all starts with just grasping a view. That leads to a clash, which becomes a dispute, then it turns into quarreling, it keeps escalating to annoyance, and where does it end? Frustration, stress. This isn't about who's right or who's wrong, it's just a predictable psychological chain reaction that comes from holding on too tightly to our own ideas. Okay, now here comes the masterstroke. This is the big pivot. The Buddha completely changes the game. He basically says, all right, enough with these abstract ideas and intellectual arguments. Let's get real. Let's talk about something tangible, something you're experiencing right this second, your own body. And he advises this pretty radical shift in perspective. Instead of seeing your body as me or mine, try to see it for what it is. Inconstant, a source of stress, even like an arrow stuck in you. Now, these aren't meant to be depressing ideas. They're meant to be liberating because they help us see that the body is just a temporary biological process, not some solid, permanent self. And what's the result of seeing things this way? Well, when you see the body clearly, as this impersonal, ever-changing thing, that frantic clinging we all do just starts to fade. The desire, the attraction, that deep-seated attachment, it all just starts to loosen its grip. You stop fighting with reality and you start to find some peace with it. So we've gone from abstract ideas to the physical body. Now, the focus gets even sharper. The Buddha zooms in on the most fundamental thing we experience from moment to moment, our feelings. Everything we live through, he says, can be sorted into one of just three simple categories.
So in any given moment, we are experiencing one of just 3 feelings. It's either pleasant, it's painful, or it's neutral. Neither pleasant nor painful. That's it. That's the whole menu. And think about it, you can only feel one at a time. When you feel pleasant, pain and neutral just aren't there. When you feel pain, pleasure is gone.
Okay, but here's the absolute kicker. This is the most important part of the whole teaching. No matter which of those 3 feelings you're having, good, bad, or neutral, it shares the exact same fundamental qualities. Every single feeling is inconstant, it pops up because of certain causes and conditions, and it is absolutely 100% guaranteed to end. It will vanish, fade, and cease. No feeling lasts forever. And just seeing that one simple truth, that all feelings, good and bad, eventually pass, that is the key. That's what unlocks this profound freedom. It's not about trying to get rid of bad feelings or desperately hold on to the good ones. It's just about understanding their very nature. And the path to that freedom, it unfolds in these really clear steps. First, you just see it for yourself. You watch feelings come and go. And from that simple observation, you naturally start to become disenchanted. That whole game of chasing pleasure and running from pain, it just starts to seem kind of pointless. This leads to dispassion, this deep sense of calm. And from that calm comes release. The mind is finally truly free. So as the Buddha finishes talking, something absolutely incredible happens. Not one, but 2 people have a massive breakthrough. Sariputta, who was one of the Buddha's top disciples and was just quietly fanning him the whole time, he becomes fully awakened by understanding not clinging. And at the exact same moment, Longnails, the guy who started this whole debate with his rigid view, he has his own awakening. He gains what's called the Dhamma Eye, a direct, pure insight into how reality works. I mean, the transformation's total. The wanderer who showed up armed with this rigid, negative view, his entire world has just been turned right side up. He sees the truth as clearly as if someone brought a lamp into a dark room. And he completely lets go of his old stance, taking refuge in the very teaching that just set him free. You know, the story started with a clash of opinions, but it ended with an insight into experience itself. So the final question for us isn't, how can I prove my view is the right one? The real question is, which view am I holding on to so tightly that it's causing me clashes and frustration? Because maybe the path to peace isn't found in winning the argument, but in letting go of the need to argue in the first place.